Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Remember to join the Patreon to vote in the poll in the top right corner of the video, and like and subscribe for fresher kicks next time you play. Maybe. Hey everybody, quick update on the Patreon. We are less than $150 away from hitting the goal of making character sheets and getting started on Breaking Character, which is a show where I use those character sheets to have my friends play out different battle royale scenarios with my builds. So if you want to see that, get on over to the Patreon, vote in the poll. We've got Disney villains this week: Dr. Facilier, Ursula, or Syndrome from The Incredibles. Today we're building Puss in Boots from Shrek. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you might recall in the Zorro build that I said you could make Puss in Boots by just changing Variant Human to TABAXI with the Zorro build. Which is true, but that video came out half a year ago, wasn't a huge hit, and didn't have Shrek clips in the background, so this one should be way more profitable.
Cat, I'm a kitty cat, and I dance, 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 and I dance, dance, dance. Cat, I'm a kitty cat, and I dance, 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 and I dance, dance, dance.
Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need to be a master duelist with sword skills to pay the bills. How great is it that there's a canonical assassin in the Shrek franchise that's just like friends with everyone? Like, he gets paid to end people's lives and nobody has an issue with that. Next, we need cat-like Grace with the ability to dive in and out of combat as we see fit. Finally, we'll make sure that we can turn on the charm, or the cute with big pouty eyes that will help take our foes by surprise. Bars. For stats, we'll be using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just make sure your dexterity and charisma are good enough for multiclassing. Dexterity will be our top stat. You can creep through the narrowest crack and walk on the narrowest rail. Charisma next. If you can't kill something, you need to endear yourself to it so it doesn't squish you with its big green butt. Wisdom after that. The only thing sharper than your senses is your sword. Follow that up with Constitution. You don't need 9 lives if you just don't die. Intelligence is a bit low. You studied at the School of Hard Knocks, and that's kind of a party school. We'll dump Strength though. If you have one weakness, it's people picking you up and yeeting you into next week. Puss is a TABAXI, but if you wanted to make a Zorro build, you could make a Variant Human and get a feat. You get +2 dexterity and +1 charisma, 60 feet of dark vision, Cat's Claws to deal 1d4 plus your strength and slashing damage with your unarmed attacks. You can cut people with your claws if you want, but there's a reason you have a sword. You also get 20 feet of climbing speed, which is nice. Your feline agility lets you double your movement speed for a round, but you can't use it again until you spend a turn not moving. Cats are natural sprinters, very dangerous over short distances. All cats get perception and stealth for free. Take the urchin background for sleight of hand and performance. I'm swapping performance in for stealth since you get it for free from being a TABAXI, and because Far Far Away Idol is the best DVD extra ever. Every movie should have the characters singing karaoke in the bonus features. Yes, I'm including Elephant Man, especially Elephant Man. Kick things off as a rogue to get 4 skills from level 1. If you multi-class into rogue later, you only get 1 extra skill, meaning that if you're playing one of those other 2 skill classes, you're still down a skill. If you want a rogue level in your build, start with the rogue level. Pro building tip for you. For your 4 skills, acrobatics, persuasion, deception, and athletics are all good skills that will help you get the job done. You get expertise in 2 skills of your choice. I'm gonna go for acrobatics and persuasion. Your big eye trick is deceptive, but it's also pretty sincere. You really do want them to not attack you, right? You also get sneak attack, letting you add a d6 of damage to your attacks when you have advantage on the roll or an ally within 5 feet of them. Lull them into a false sense of security, then boom, rapier time. Also, a rapier deals 1d8 piercing damage in case you didn't know what kind of sword you wanted to use. Second level rogues get cunning action, letting you dash, disengage, or hide as a bonus action, which is pretty busted on a TABAXI in terms of speed. With feline agility and 2 dash actions, you can move 180 feet in a single round, which is 20 miles an hour or 10 miles per hour lower than the average house cat. I hate to say this, but I think the boots are slowing you down. It's worth it though, they're pretty cute. Third level rogues can choose a roguish archetype, and I know all the geniuses are already in the comments saying 20 levels of swashbuckler on a TABAXI, done, you're welcome. Because you don't understand what these videos are. They're not just how to builds, but also an explanation of what the build can do. And also, it's not 20 levels of swashbuckler. There are definitely swashbuckler levels. Starting off as a swashbuckler, you get fancy footwork, so any creature you've attempted to hit with a melee attack can't make opportunity attacks against you for the rest of the turn. That means even if you just tried to stab someone, you could end your turn 120 feet away from them for some sweet hit and run fun. You also get rakish audacity, meaning you can give yourself sneak attack when you're fighting someone as long as there's nobody within 5 feet of either of you. If you can separate the ogre from his donkey, should be pretty easy to take them down. This also lets you add your charisma modifier to your initiative to be an expert ambusher. Even better, now that that you got 2d6 sneak attack damage in the tank. 4th level rogues get an ability score improvement, and your odd dexterity and charisma are really bothering me, so round them both up for a +2 bump to your initiative. Better stabbing, better damage, and better AC all at the same time. It's weird, it's almost like rogues are meant to be high dex. Though, I want to take advantage of our high charisma by bouncing over to Bard. That's right, it's different than the Zorro build. Ta-da! Multi-classing into Bard gives you an extra skill of your choice. Insight pairs well with your charisma skills. You can read someone's mood to better manipulate them. You also get Bardic Inspiration, which are D6s you can give to an ally as a bonus action to add to an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. You've got an amount of these equal to your charisma modifier, but we'll get something a little more bootsy for it in a second. Of course, Bards also get to cast spells. For cantrips, Vicious Mockery forces a wisdom saving throw of 8 plus your proficiency bonus and charisma modifier on a creature, dealing 2d4 psychic damage to them if they fail, and giving them disadvantage on their next attack roll. Your tongue is almost as sharp as your sword, which makes sense. Have y'all ever been licked by a cat? It's like 1,000 knives made of sand, but somehow wet. True Strike is a spell that forces an intelligence saving throw on your YouTube audience. If they fail, they don't recognize that you have to put it on this build to make them angry in the comments and boost the algorithm. If they pass, they realize that you just put it on the build to get angry comments, so they leave a comment with their favorite Smash Mouth lyric. For 1st level spells, Charm Person forces a wisdom saving throw on a creature. Failing that, they're charmed by you for an hour because you hit them with a baby face. Animal Friendship is a charm person, but for beasts, it lasts for 24 hours rather than 1. Technically, the king of Far Far Away is a frog. That's something you could use. Long Strider increases your movement speed by 10 feet for an hour, which gets doubled by your feline agility, then doubled again with your dash action, then doubled again with your double dash action from cunning action. That's fast. Featherfall protects up to 5 falling creatures from falling damage. I'm mostly grabbing it for you because cats always land on their feet, though I don't know if that's something that's been tested. I know it definitely shouldn't be. What kind of sicko would just drop a bunch of cats? 2nd level Bards get Song of Rest, letting your allies heal an extra d6 on short rests because they love your Ricky Martin covers. Jack of all trades lets you add half your proficiency bonus to the skills you don't have proficiency with, so you've got proficiency with 9 skills and half proficiency with 11. That's a skillful cat. 3rd level Bards get expertise in 2 more skills. Stealth and performance could be good fun for better sneak attacks and more money if you want to give busking a shot. You can also go to college, and the College of Swords is perfect for bards who are originally scripted to be fighters. But then Tulak realized that a sword bard swashbuckler would help distinguish this from the Zorro build. You get a fighting style, duelist works best for you, adding 2 to the damage with a one-handed attack, which should work for you. Don't two-hand a rapier, you have no reason to. The main perk is Blade Flourishes, letting you add 10 to your movement speed when you attack as part of your action. You can use a defensive flourish with this, adding inspiration die to your damage and your AC until the start of your next turn. A slashing flourish, add inspiration die to your damage and deal that damage to another creature within 5 feet of you. Or a mobile flourish, adding inspiration die to your damage and pushing the target back 5 plus the inspiration die's roll in feet, then move up to your movement speed to get within 5 feet of them for some better positioning. I love that this involves your charisma modifier in your swordplay, as that'll determine how many flourishes you can get per long rest. For this level spell, Suggestion steps Charm Person up to the next level, forcing a wisdom saving throw on a creature. Failing that, they have to try and complete a simple task you give them for the next 8 hours, depending on your concentration. It can't be directly harmful, but making them dig a really big hole wouldn't hurt them, and it would keep a guard busy while you sneak in and steal the milk from the fridge. For someone else, don't give your cats milk. It gives them diarrhea. I'm sick of how irresponsible movies are about this. Stop giving your cats milk. 4th level bards get an ability score improvement. Capping off your dexterity will give you +7 to your damage rolls with your rapier, which is pretty great. For this level spell, Enhance Ability lets you give a creature advantage on a type of saving throw of your choice. If you choose Strength, their carrying capacity is doubled. If you choose Dexterity, they don't take falling damage from heights of 20 or less. And if you choose Constitution, they get 2d6 temporary HP. Shrek could use the Strength or Constitution, and you could use the Dexterity, especially if you don't want to drop all your 1st level slots on Featherfall. This lasts for an hour depending on your concentration, so you can get a lot of tiny drop downs before it goes away. 5th level bards get a Font of Inspiration, meaning you recover inspiration on short rests instead of long rests, and your die increases to a d8, so don't forget to spend those flourishes. You don't get extra D&D points if you have them left over. You can also learn 3rd level spells. Catnap puts your soothing purring skills to work, putting 3 willing creatures to sleep for 10 minutes or until they're awoken. If they stay asleep for a full 10 minutes, they get the benefits of a short rest. Did I choose this spell just because it has cat in the name? Of course course not. I also couldn't pick a 3rd level spell I liked. 6th level sword bards get an extra attack, letting you make 2 attacks instead of 1 with your action. You can only sneak attack once per round, but you can hold off on using that until the 2nd hit, because if it's a crit, you get to double all the sneak attack die as well. For this level spell, grab Speak with Animals from the 1st level, which will let you speak with animals for 10 minutes. A lot of Shrek animals can speak, but some can't. What's the deal with that? Puss in Boots can talk, Donkey can talk, the blind mice can talk, the wolf and the pigs can talk, but that bird that Fiona blows up, it's just a bird. Did that bird have a soul? Could it feel? Could it think? Could it cast the 4th level spell Freedom of Movement? No, but you could with the 7th level of Bard. Freedom of Movement lets you ignore difficult terrain, your speed can't be reduced, you can't be stunned or paralyzed, and you can free yourself from shackles with 5 feet of movement for an hour. No concentration required. There's a reason wrangling a bunch of chaotic people is called herding cats. They are difficult to pin down. 8th level bards can grab another feat. Defensive Duelist lets you add your proficiency bonus to your AC as a reaction against 1 attack as long as you're holding a finesse weapon like your rapier, making it even harder to hit. You're really good at fighting one-on-one. Crowds aren't really your thing. Like a cat. For this level spell, Charm Monster is like Charm Person for a monster. There's no limit to what your sad little eyes could work on. Back over to Rogue now. 5th level rogues get Uncanny Dodge, letting you reduce damage by half as a reaction as long as you can see the source of damage. This is where you need to read your DM's poker face to see if you could shut down the attack with Defensive Duelist or not. Unless it's just a failed saving throw, then definitely use this. Your sneak attack damage also increases to 3d6 here. 6th level rogues get Expertise in 2 more skills. Sleight of Hand and Athletics could be nice. The former for flourishes of feline finesse, and the other one for jump more better. 7th level rogues get Evasion, letting you take half damage from failed dex saves and no damage on successful ones, letting you nimbly dive out of the way of an explosion right in the nick of time. You can still roleplay that a bit of your fur got singed by the fireball. That's always good for flavory business. Your sneak attack also bumps up to 4d6. 8th level rogues get another ability score improvement. Start investing in that charisma modifier for better flourishes and harder to save charms. Speaking of charming people, wouldn't it be nice if you could do that for free? 9th level swashbucklers get Panache, letting you do that for free. You can make a persuasion check against a character's insight. Failing that, you become their sole focus, which means different things depending on whether or not they're hostile. If they're not hostile to you, they're charmed by you for a minute, which should help you save slots on your charm person. If they are hostile, they have disadvantage on any creature that isn't you. They can't make opportunity attacks against creatures who aren't you. This lasts for a minute or until one of your allies attacks them or you're more than 60 feet away. Use your superior mobility to stay just out of their range. Unless their attack is ranged, then hopefully you can use Defensive Duelist to stay safe. Sneak attack also increases to 5d6 here. 10th level rogues get another ability score improvement, letting us cap off our charisma for 5 flourishes per day, and just the cutest widow face, widow cutie patootie over here, gonna end lives for money. Yes, you are. 11th level rogues get Reliable Talent, meaning the lowest you can roll on a skill with which you're proficient is 10, followed by your proficiency bonus and whatever modifier, so the lowest you can get for a persuasion check is 27. That's what the enemy is going to have to beat your panache. Your sneak attack also bumps up to 66. Capstone is the 12th level of Rogue for 1 last ability score improvement, and the charisma is capped, the dexterity is capped, bump the strength I guess for no negative modifier. Otherwise, if you want a power build, late game tough feat could be useful. Skilled feat is also pretty busted with Reliable Talent, up to you, have fun with it. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, you are loaded with skills, and Reliable Talent makes them all consistent, meaning you're never going to look silly if you play your cards right. Heck, you got Jack of all trades to make you look good at things you're not good at. You're also very mobile with huge movement speed thanks to feline agility, long strider, flourishing, and cunning action to have some crazy speed. Finally, you can charm anything in the monster manual. Well, almost anything. Speaking of, for weaknesses, we invested a lot of energy into charming things, and a plethora of things can't be charmed. You're also going to run out of flourishes pretty quickly. 5 per short rest will probably be gone in 5 rounds or less. Finally, you don't have any methods of magical damage other than insulting someone, so hopefully you're not fighting anything multi-layered. That was an ogre joke, but ogres can be charmed. If the fight isn't going your way, turn the cuteness up to 11 and get them on your side. Just watch out if they put a lich in Shrek 5. That would be kind of cool though. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week. Remember, YouTube shut down the poll system on the videos, so you gotta go over to my Patreon if you want to vote in the poll for your favorite Disney villain. Dr. Facilier, Ursula, or Syndrome from The Incredibles.